Well, historic moment. I'm hoping that we can continue to get those visuals as we see them live. 5 more minutes to go on the countdown is what we're seeing. But let me bring on board Mr. Suresh Nayak, ex-group director, ISRO, and Mr. K. Sivan, former chairman, ISRO, who are with us at this historic moment. Let me start with you, Mr. Nayak. Do you believe that this is India's SpaceX moment?
Yeah, this is definitely a big movement, unprecedented and historical movement. Private industry fully developing and building a rocket of their own and launching it. So you see now there are two types of roles to be played in the country's space um, division. For example, one is launching services for the smaller satellites and launching services for the larger satellites. So this particular Vikram-1, which is going to be launched just now, is going to take the part of launching the smaller satellites, which has got a large market, international market in the world. And at the same time, it will complement the ISRO's PSLV, JSLV, and these larger launch vehicles. So, with both kind of developments in these two different fields, I think India can play a more substantiative role in the launch services, and we can get more revenue in the global market for the launch services. So, this is excellent development, and I congratulate the scientists and engineers in Skyroot company. Of course, they're getting a lot of help from ISRO. So they will. I hope they'll continue this and add to the glory of the country.
Mr. Sivan, let me come to you. What changes? In the next few minutes, we'll get to know as to how successful this launch is. Hoping that this is successful, but what changes if it is?
No, basically this particular launch is a historical moment in India's space system, space ecosystem, and basically that is the government initiated the space sector reform, and very quickly this startup now come to the launch pad for launching with orbital vehicle. That's also a very huge achievement, and definitely this is going to script a history in the space ecosystem in India. And also, there is another interesting fact is that this Skyroot, this space technology is very, very complex technology, and that our startups are coming to this one now, coming for the launch.
And Mr. Sivan, unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut you off. Primarily because we're not able to fully hear you, sir, because there's a lot of disturbance in the background. Let's clear that up. I'll quickly have that done. But give us your sense, Mr. Nayak. What changes on ground, according to you, and from a story perspective, what should one expect as a consequence of this?
Whom this question is
Mr. Nayak, that's for you, sir, please.
Okay. So you are asking what changes this will
Yes, according
impact.
to you, what will change on ground if this were to succeed?
Well, you see, as I said, these two different services, Skyroot as well as government ISRO, they have got actually their own fields to carry out the work. And both of them are going to be great beneficial for India as a whole. And what I am trying to say is, you see, Skyroot Vikram-1 is not really aiming to reduce the cost launch services. Okay, if it will reduce, if there is a dedicated launch, that means supposing one private company is interested in using Skyroot Vikram-1 for the launching their satellite weighing about 350 kilograms. And then this is the ideal rocket. And this will be, something like, I think 50 crores or 70 crores or so. Because if you use for that PSLV, then it will be expensive because PSLV is really ideally meant for heavier satellites in the low Earth orbit, let's say about up to 1700 kilograms, tons, right? And kilograms, and it should be fully utilized. There should be so many satellites, or one satellite weighing that kind of weight, then PSLV is definitely cheaper. Otherwise, your Vikram-1 is cheaper. Right now, you can say 200 crores is the cost of one PSLV launch. And in case of Vikram-1, it is approximately about 50 to 70 crores, as I told you. So, you see, India as a whole is going to benefit by developing these two systems, and for one for small satellite and another for larger satellites, and which is for interplanetary missions. You can use PSLV. You can't use Vikram-1 for interplanetary missions. It is not meant for that. The another advantage of Vikram-1 is on-demand service. So
Right.
it
Another
can
fun
be.
fact
Uh,
while we wait for this hold to resolve. Um,
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, very much. Please go ahead, Mr. Nayak.
Yeah, so you see, what I'm trying to emphasize is on-demand service, quick turnaround time. These are the great advantages for Vikram-1, right? Whereas for PSLV type of rockets, it takes a lot of time to build and launch services. Campaign also is up for about 20 days, 30 days, whereas this can be made ready for launch maybe in a couple of days or 3, 4 days. So these are the advantages of Vikram-1. And now what can happen is the number of rocket launches from the Indian soil can increase substantially per year. I don't know actually, approximately, I think now the case is about 6 rockets launches per year. That may become 12 launches per year. Or by 2030, it may still increase. And Vikram-1 is using the services of many other startups. It is not entirely their own, but entirely private. So right now, the number of startups in the country is in hundreds in the field of space, right? So they supply, either satellite or the bits and pieces for the rockets, and the whole Indian space industry is going to benefit because of Indian governments making this missions venture in a private mode. You see, so now you can see the fruits of India's policy of opening up the space sector to private. So this is something like in USA. In USA, NASA does hardly do any development or building work for rockets or satellites themselves. They outsource them, right? And that's why there are a lot of companies which are of very large scale have come up in the USA since long time, and that makes the whole mission of space mission very viable. And NASA can, like ISRO now, can engage in the development of the future space programs, innovations, etc. And space industries can develop. Of course, I'm sure that the space private sector will come up with innovative ideas. For example, in this case, I think the liquid engine is completely, printed, the 3D printed thing. So, which is a very great thing because you can get that within 2, 3 days. Whereas actually, if you want to fabricate it, it takes days, and even a month. So That way, there are a lot of advantages on the ground by this Vikram-1 Skyroot company's Vikram-1 rocket. In the future, I'm sure they will get a boost because of the this particular success. I hope that it will become successful, and because of that, we can get international orders, and the space sector will flourish very rapidly in the country. Thank you.
Very interesting. Let me also bring on board Dr. Guru Prasad. He's former ISRO scientist. Sir, great having you. Let me have your thoughts. How significant, how big is this? Does this, Mr. Nayak was just elaborating on how this changes the story for India space, for Indian space, just like how SpaceX and some private players changed the story for the US. Give us your take. Sir, you're on mute, I believe. Not able to get your audio, if you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm extremely sorry.
No worries at all.
Good morning
Please
to
go
all the
ahead.
panelists and to you, Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Yeah, this is a very significant milestone indeed, because till now, whatever rockets that have lifted off from Sriharikota with the intention of carrying a satellite or a group of satellites to orbit, they were all launched by ISRO. ISRO is a government entity, no doubt about it. But this is the first time that a private company, which consisting of many youngsters compared to the kind of people who were there earlier. So these people have built this rocket perseverantly, and they have perfected it and readied it for launch. Anyway, they already had a taste of it somewhat with the launch of Vikram-1, which was suborbital, in the sense it did not go to orbit. Vikram-1 earlier in November 2022, it went to the edge of space, around 89 kilometers or something. But there is a significant difference between just traveling to space and just coming back and reaching orbit. A couple of thousand kilometers is sufficient per hour. That speed is sufficient for you to reach beyond the Earth's atmosphere, just enter the space and come back. But in order to travel to an orbit of 450 kilometers, that is the intention of Vikram-1 today. Do you know what is the speed in a particular direction? I don't want to use velocity and such things, okay? The speed with which you have to push the satellite is only 28,000 kilometers per hour. So that is the difference. And okay, that adventure is beginning today. Let me tell you one more thing, the significance of today. Exactly 46 years back, on July 18th, 1980, at around 8:05 a.m. in the morning, India's first launch vehicle, SLV-3, in its second launch, it successfully launched Rohini RS-1 satellite to orbit. On this very day, July 18th, see, serendipitously it has come exactly like this. July 18th only we are launching today a private rocket. Okay, that shows India's strength, India's resilience, and India's skill, and what is India today. Okay, in 1980, the project director was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, so India became the 7th country to launch its own satellite on that day. It was a very significant day, a significant milestone in the Indian space program today. Since this launch is taking place from a private player, from a private startup, this amply signifies what India today is, in fact. It is not only the people who are well versed in the technology of rocketry, it is even youngsters and venture capitalists. Of course, they are guided by ISRO, okay? It is a well thought out strategy on the part of the government to leave ISRO for all high-tech things, no doubt about it. And for routine stuff and such things, startups and other private companies are being, they're brought in. Okay, so this is a well thought out strategy of the government, which it initiated in 2020, and today is the fructification of that, I would say, a significant event. So now the private sector has arrived. So that is what India wants to say. And no doubt about it, ISRO is a great organization. I was privileged to work there for 37 years. Okay, but ISRO has guided them. ISRO has handheld them. Okay, held their hand, and they have brought Skyroot to this state. Today also you can see it is happening in Sriharikota in the first launch pad. So it speaks amply for the India's capabilities. Thank you.
Right. Dr. Guru Prasad, and breaking, which is happening at Sriharikota. We have Dr. Guru Prasad as well as, in fact, let's go across some live visuals coming to us, is what I'm told. Let's quickly go across, look at those live visuals. Dr. Guru Prasad, there you go. Some of those live visuals coming our way. We'll have to wait and watch as to how this plays out. But Dr. Guru Prasad, what does this mean from an India technology standpoint, right? Because what this will do is it'll put more satellites from the Indian continent into space, which is a very, very big positive, and it's going to be a larger milestone from a decade perspective, right?
It's actually it is a significant thing. A larger thing, yes, it is true. It is not that from one point of view, it is not only more satellites. You know, Vikram-1 can launch one group of satellites in terms of weight and such things. It has a capability of around, say, 350 kilograms. It is capable of taking a satellite or a group of satellites together weighing about 350 kilograms into a 450 kilometer orbit. Let us say it is called as low Earth orbit. That is very near to the Earth's surface. Okay, but okay, ISRO also has PSLV. I'm sorry, ISRO also has got SSLVs. Okay, small satellite launch vehicle. So this rocket launcher, this Vikram-1 is the latest addition to the India stable of launch vehicles. India has already built 6 generations of launch vehicles: SLV-3, ASLV, PSLV, GSLV, LVM-3, and SSLV. And now in the low mass satellite launch class of launchers, this is the first private venture. So this adds more punch to India's capability to put satellites to orbit, I would say. So definitely, it is a good addition as far as India's capability to provide launch services are concerned.
Prasad, I need to take again another pause. Quickly go across, have a look at what's playing out in terms of live visuals from Sriharikota. Let's go across.
They treated the vehicle as their own, as you correctly said, Suyash. Like, they have been involved with us throughout the entire campaign, helped us, and along with ISRO, we would also like to take a pause to thank InSpace, and they have acted as a bridge between the government organization, facilitating all the review meetings, everything, and allowing us access to SHAR, all the policies, all the reforms. So thank you, InSpace, for all the efforts, and thank you for rooting for Skyroot.
Yeah, one interesting thing, and this is a personal experience as well. We did Mission Prarambh in November 2022, and believe it or not, the headquarters of InSpace were inaugurated in June 2022.
Just 6 months from our first launch.
So you might have to imagine that it's just 6 months, and they've had to imagine and they have to write and draft all the policies that are required. They have to make sure that they know how the mission is going to be, regulated. What do we need to do to essentially handhold the space sector, the private space sector?
It was very seamless, indeed, very seamless, the way they took all of it.
Yeah, very true. It definitely is not an easy job, and they've excelled at it. Same goes with ISRO. We've had, cases where they've been chasing after us.
Yeah. I remember those days.
Yeah, and it's quite, empowering to know that the government is playing such a huge role in helping make this happen. We talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat. We talk about Viksit Bharat 2047. And all of these technologies, what the private sector is trying to build today, is essentially contributing to that goal. If we want to be the world leaders, we need to start now.
Exactly, Suyash. Like, I was fortunate enough to visit the LPSC test facility when I was with the Raman-1 test campaign. It was a very great experience. I mean, and the coordination with the ISRO teams and the way they facilitated the entire test campaign and the data analysis, and post-test, the data came like really fast, and like they were after us and they were very patient with us. So yeah, that was a really great experience for the young engineer like me.
Yeah, and that sort of reminds me to the stage test that we did just a couple of months ago. I think nearly 9 months ago.
Yeah, around I think October.
Yeah, October, I think. And so that was the test of the orbital adjustment module. It was a all-inclusive test. We had the entire stage. We had all the engines, the thrusters. We had the avionics. We had something quite interesting and melodic as well. We played Sare Jahan Se Acha using the Raman Mini thrusters on the stage, which was something very unique, very captivating to the young minds. Many people did not think that you could play music out of the screeching sounds of 50 Newton Raman Mini thrusters.
Again, an opera, I told you, right?
Yeah, definitely.